Here's your chart. We'll talk a bit about your dragon, even though going into this chart would take extensive time, a little bit, like I said, an hour. The dragon natal, give you an example of what keywords are for positive Cancer dragon natal. It's an area of your luck and good fortune, actually. It points to your home area. And the sign of Cancer is very mystical in a sense, and the sign of Cancer governs pretty much over the United States. Um, Positively, you're the great cook, caring, loving, with great family life, the genius with real estate. Uh, Generally speaking, they own beautiful homes. They spend time with family. Children love them, and like I said, the mystic, the sensual. Negative speaking, give an example of a negative Cancer dragon would be afraid of career responsibility, smothering, in trouble with family, anxiety, full of causing ulcers too. Um, Often depressed, over emotional, too needy. When we look at your dragon and your tail, um, not only does it, you know, represent Pluto because it's blacked out, um, it's inside of Capricorn. So you will attract those Capricorn partners or those professionals like we were talking briefly about, and it's an area where if you're generally speaking, you're a good person, nothing but good luck can happen. Like I said, Hitler had a similar dragon tail, and he wasn't a good person. Look what happened to him, right? Um, Talk about your planets. Like this lunation's full moon that we just passed on the 18th went over top of your Aries. It's a lunation where it makes sure you're in your sixth house of work and health, and it makes you want to explore with your stars. Just gonna adjust my screen here. Um, it's all about regaining that health, to regenerate your accomplishments, investigating part of it. So the full power of the full moon, like if you read my forecast, you'll see that you'll vibrate a lot from it. It's really it's made my horoscopes for the general mass, but doing individual charts is pretty much custom work. When we go into your chart, I'll give you an example of what a negative Capricorn tail means because you have it right here in house 10, briefly. So negative Capricorn tail in the career house. So negatively speaking, repping this tail wrong, where you become the snob, cold, calculated. You have trouble with the government, your knees and stomach hurt, you use and abuse others, your career is a mess, and often depressed and self-serving. So, positively speaking, now there's positive and negative in the tail and the head too. I'm just trying to give you a well-rounded what the dragon means. It also tells me that you come from a past in Europe, and it is indicating me in it's England area. Again, now we're just doing a basic one here. So, negatively speaking, when we're talking negative Capricorn tail or positive Capricorn is you run your own business, you're a great architect, you're practical, honest, down to earth, spiritually elevated. A position of power, respect in your career, wise, organized, you attract people like that, or responsibilities. You've been working for Uncle Sam all your life, or gifted with politics and all the facets, and you make time for your home life. So, your next explanation will go over top of your partnership area, and talk a bit about that at the end. Go into your planets a bit here. I try to shorten it because I can't ramble too much, talk my head off. But like I said, if you want to learn this, it's very easy to learn. You can count on your fingers. People, some people like to purchase ebooks that go with it. Either way, um, it takes up to about a month to clearly understand the psychology of it all, and reading people based on their month, and it's pretty accurate. At the point where you don't need a chart, you use astropsychology. Right off the hop, because you're born in April, subconscious you'll have that fear based in the sign of Pisces. So things like being alone or not being loved or appreciated, and a lot of people turn to madness, right? So it's all about that. Um, when we talk to fish, you got two types of fish, right? One that swims upstream, one that swims downstream. You being in Pluto and Libra generation, um, there's here negatively speaking. There's obsession with the legal system, partnerships, psychology, marriage, contracts, and a lot of it has to do with that regeneration principle. So spiritually regenerating and reach with learning of astropsychology or any type of laws, and that's what I specialize in: the moon laws and how the stars of divine manifestations give us a subtle message, and I teach those laws. Whether picking dates to travel or picking dates to marriage or picking dates for anything really, asking the right astrologer sometimes can avoid a lot of drama. You don't want to do things when the moon is waning, generally speaking. But Pluto and Libra is very partnershipy in a sense that they want to be treated the way they treat others. So a little bit further on that, Pluto in Libra. Um, it's we call it the gang generation, but that's just the saying. It's a sign of the law, the police, the group, partnerships, sealed by contracts, the commitments. Libra into the house of death, Pluto. Libra rules the seventh house, open enemies, produces deadly battles of one group against the other, for example. So this generation needs to be part of a group or regenerate. Will not want, and generally speaking, won't want to stay home. And negatively speaking, the gang attitude pervades for so those degenerate souls out there, and that it's for me, for you, and you for me till death do us part. And they love dramatic, platonic, deadly situations, and they risk their lives for their partners. Again, we see an example of Chauvin and Floyd, both being in the Pluto and Libra generation, and they both were rebirthed. Obviously, one died, and one went to jail, and they're both kind of cursed in their partnerships. But I'll give you an example of what it could mean. Generally speaking, when we fall in that generations, it also tells me that the past, the beginning, you may have had some drama with your partnerships, and I'm part of the same generation, but it's it's a lesson of Pluto and Libra is to use their group strengths to build life and master the art of diplomacy. And Libra is a sign of peace, beauty, love, and commitment. But with deadly Pluto, war and death is the only acceptable outcome for when we talk to the young souls, or people that are just out of control and don't take responsibility over their life, for instance. So Libra reminds us to seek balance, harmony in partnerships, contracts, legalities, and respect in all in our relationships. However, Libra also reminds us that there's a flip side of peace is war, right? And Pluto rules the police forces for good, and Libra the gangs, forces of evil, to give an example. So you having your Mercury in Aries, Sun sign in Aries, right away you're that baby of the zodiac, and you'll look younger than you are, and being having your Aquarius in Sag, Neptune in Sag, you're in ninth house of it's your Sagittarius house, right? Aquarius or in Sagittarius rules freedom, while Sagittarius rules wide open spaces. Sagittarius rules the Indians, the deserts, the Las Vegas. Uranus controls the electronic gaming machines. Las Vegas. Uranus and Sagittarius produce the electronic gambler. Uranus and Sagittarius also depicted with an extremely spiritual person mixing very old and very new philosophies. And Sagittarius and Aquarius are naturally open-minded and happy souls. Can be very good friends, helping you to reach your wishes too. So the downfall of this position is that Sagittarius acts like a priest and tends to follow the codification of the thought. So many people are religious and can only believe anything that's printed knowledge and found in books. So meanwhile, Uranus universal spiritual breath, true star knowledge, which is astrology, and is reluctant to explore or support the religious Sagittarius in his limited belief system or the Vatican. Uranus' spiritual awakener and Sagittarius dogmas makes the life of the subject to a constant process of traveling and educating to finally reach cosmic consciousness. So I see many people move away from religious and turn to astrology, where when we really look at it, that the Vatican really hid the art of astrology when we really look at it. So you have that drive to explore, be in nature, take pictures, travel far for the truths. It's all about those laws in the sense that you're not going to believe BS. But then again, you're able to expand your awareness. Very successful stars when you really look at it. But Neptune in Sagittarius, since we're on the topic on your ninth house, mixture of Jupiter's codes and Neptune's elusive power can only further the intensity of teaching and enforcing the rules of including the Bible terms as ultimate laws sometimes. And this position produces a very sensitive reaction to the country's induced accepted religion. So a mix of Jupiter's codes and Neptune's elusive power can only further the intensity of teaching and enforcing the rules, including biblical terms or ultimate laws, or position that produces a very sensitive reaction to the country and accepted religion. So on a negative note, the young soul is simply incapable of challenging the written word and cannot use its own critical thinking outside of what has been written. And on a more productive note, the advanced soul is forced to travel and realize its own limitations by exploring other people's cultures and philosophies. So the very same reluctance to expand outside of his very culture forces the subject to himself to realize or her his own mental limitations and stipulations. So one of the challenges is to realize the diversity of governments, mental control imposed through religions upon many different cultures, and countries predisposing the soul to mental exploration and ultimately cosmic consciousness. So I'm doing a bit about that. I'm bringing my type of astrology to Facebook, and I attract all kinds of professionals, and you exploring astrology more and more can only help you. And know more about anyone, really, your partner, or kids, or whatever, right? So, you having a natal in the sign of Cancer is, it's all about being, in the sun, in the beach, eating, traveling. You attract that money, you attract love, you attract that good luck, and good people. And Jupiter in like you have it in your 8th house. Jupiter in Scorpio give a serious option for education involving Scorpio matters. So science, medicine, sex, witchcraft, corporate endeavors, research, metaphysics. Scorpio's secret investigative nature, desire for power combined with Jupiter's ethics and rules produces FBI and CIA agents and all police endeavors. So Scorpio is a metaphysical sign, but in the young soul's case, the lizard, or with religious poisoning, the strong, passionate nature of Scorpio can and will become deadly. So I can see that you're not a killer, but that you would go toward, you'd be more of a police. You have police stars in a sense, government stars, and a Jupiter Pluto mixture is a time bomb waiting to go off in some people. And regeneration always takes place when the old is replaced with the new, and when the soul is forced to learn about different cultures and travel in the world. So it's by no surprise that you are asking about these stars, because I know a year ago you weren't interested, but I'm happy you did. And in some cases, a tremendous amount of wealth and exchange on a daily basis via the stock market. Some people thrive in that, and the soul will be put in a position where she participate in handling others people's resources and produce insurance agents, state and work financial planners, and IRS working force. So I have a couple students like that, and they're like big managers in Burger King and stuff like that. This house, but they're very neat and professional stars, and learning more about how to work with the moon with that crab natal can only benefit everything. We can talk about that. You have the great Malefic in house 7. You have Venus in Aquarius, Mars in Libra. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about Mars in Libra. So it's a drive principle, how you face the world. You're a big Libra. Even though your ascendant's a Leo, should be that lion. Lion's always that Scorpio at home. But it's blacked out here, and that lion is position of power right away, right? So Libra is ruled by Venus, and this is the sign of partnerships and marriage with the Mars, the planet of war. The desire principles for partnerships, justice, and commitment. And If there's any planet in astrology that needs refinement, it's the planet Mars. So Mars' aggressiveness and warlike attitude is smooth over with the influence of peace-oriented Libra. So souls born with Mars and Libra nurture a strong desire to reach balance and harmony in all areas of human experience. And thus many explore the world of interior design, astropsychology, the law, or the arts. So Mars in Libra nurtures a deep desire to fight for the weak and oppressed. Someone like a Zorro, for example, those born with a Mars and Libra must recognize their limits and avoid entering friend conflicts. And an aspiration to build a solid partnership in conflict with Mars' aggressive nature, this often destroys the established harmony of the marriage. And recognizing that using both of the Venus love and the Mars desire principles accordingly as a chance to maintain harmony and matrimony is a strong possibility. So you will attract those very strong Libras, militant like or government officials, like I said. Bit of talk about your Venus or your Mercury in Aries in your first house. So first house, soul's purpose house. I'm not too sure if I sent you the housing system, which is Aries to Pisces, what it means in English. And if you're curious, I can send that. But Mercury in Aries, before I log out, Mars, Aries, Gemini, Mercury together, the turbocharged individual, the speaker, the racing driver. You have the intensity of Aries, Mars, the red planet of danger, action, machinery, mechanics, receiving speedy Mercury, Gemini. You'll see them on some of them racetracks, go fast. Individuals are most likely just maybe speaking, stop or speeding, but Aries rules the body, Gemini the mind. So when the energies are misunderstood and controlled, are understood and controlled properly, the soul has the potential to use that turbocharged energy very constructively, and either in the world of communication or in the world of action and danger. Right. So I'm not too sure what else you do on the side besides real estate. And I'm not sure if you're a police officer, or work with police, because you do have these kind of police stars, and you are asking me questions about war, and we are right now. I'm not too sure if you know where the moon is, but the moon's in Scorpio, so it's very investigative, and I'm doing a lot of investigation too because of what happened to one of my students. But your sun sign in Aries is to establish oneself, to develop one's personality, and to lead. And your soul's purpose house. Right? Your Venus in Aquarius. Universal love, freedom, supermagnetism, originality are bestowed in this position. So Venus in Aquarius brings interest in the study of astrology, music, electronics. The planet of love, or Venus, is now in the astonishing, sometimes weird world of Aquarius, and thus the planet regulating the sun release of energy brings unexpected people and experiences into the subject's life. Examples like one night stand, original partners, and fast in and out relationships. And because Aquarius is a fixed sign, once they have found a true mate, they can be faithful to one love. And this position brings lovers to be friends, friends to become lovers. Souls born with the Venus position will often associate with New Age groups, participate in UFO conferences, any all New Age endeavors. The option to find a special universal love, unique person, eccentric person. Venus in Aquarius is a non-judging, free-loving soul, generating universal love. On the negative aspect, the soul seeks all forms of group love or weird sexual experiences. You know, examples like Mormonism or occult Satanist leaders or whatever weird people do out there, right? So, I did draw 4 cards for you, and January, February, March, April, just the 4 months of the year. Your March card is all about the moon. So you'll have that try to learn about the moon, which I specialize in. And then next month, you got the Emperor card. And tell me a full restructure is coming your way. Or a form of restructure. As the world is in chaos, we can only hope that it doesn't go to world war yet, or doesn't ever, but it just tells me that prepare yourself for some restructuring going on. It's the base of the pyramid card, right? So, again, we can always message, talk back and forth, talk more. It's general reading. And all my services are on my shop. And if you're interested in learning more about astropsychology, I do have ebooks, or learning hands-on at your own pace, or any shape or form, we can talk about it.